Hey guys, my name is Josh Josh Stewart, and I want to show you today how to start your very own lawnmower repair business. Super easy. I know this because I started it last year. So let me just real quick. Last year, I could not get my lawnmower started, and it was very frustrating. So I called somebody, and his hours were all over the place. And next Saturday, I could bring my lawnmower to him, and it would cost me like 50, 60 bucks, and he would get it running for me again. But I didn't want to use my Saturday to take my lawnmower to him. I just wanted to cut my lawn. So I got online and I figured out how to clean up the carburetor of a lawnmower, and I did it, and it worked. And I was like, you know, if I'm having this problem, I bet other people are having this problem too. So long story short, last year I started a lawnmower repair business, and I repaired like 100 and something different lawnmowers. So I made, just in my spare time, get this, I made about $1,000 a month profit. So in 8 months, from April to November last year, I made $8,000 profit. It was like $12,000 before expenses, $8,000 profit. So it's super easy in my spare time, and all you need to do this, if you're interested, all you need to do, watch these videos, but all you really need is to be mechanically inclined somewhat. That means you kind of know your way around a toolbox. And then the second thing is you need to be a good learner. And the third thing is you need to, my way, you got to be somewhat tech savvy. Not like super tech savvy, but you need to know your way around Facebook and stuff like that. So that's it, those three things. If you are somewhat mechanically inclined, somewhat tech inclined, and you can learn things, you can watch videos and learn from them, then this video is for you. So what do you need to get started? All right, so I'm gonna show you three things real quick, how to start a lawnmower repair business. And I break it up in ready, set, go. So just like you're getting ready for a race, ready, set, go. And to get ready, really, you just need to have the confidence that you can fix a lawnmower. Okay, so this might be your own lawnmower, it might be your mom's lawnmower, it might be your neighbor's lawnmower. I don't know, but just you need to get your confidence to fix your own lawnmower. And to do that, you need some basic tools. So I'm going to go over real quick just the basic tools that you will need to get started. And so first thing you need is just a little tool set, little socket set. So here's a little 1/4 inch socket, and you've got some different metric and standard size sockets. Got the ratchet there, you've got a little spinner here, and then a couple of extensions. And that's pretty basic, the basic socket set. And then you need a very small flathead screwdriver, and that is once you start working on the carburetor to get some of the little pieces out, you'll need that. And don't get scared when I say the word carburetor. It's actually a lot simpler than it might sound. A couple Q-tips that'll help you in the cleaning process, and then you need a fine wire. So I don't know if you can see that. I think you can, but it's just a twist tie that I stripped half of it, and so the wire is exposed, and you're going to shove that into parts of the carburetor to help clean it out. So that's the first thing you'll need, is a socket set and those little extras, and then a larger socket. This is a 3/4 inch ratchet, okay, and a couple of spark plug sockets. And so just two different ones, depending on the kind of lawnmower that you're messing with. It might need one of those sizes. You'll need some rags. It's always good to have rags. You'll need some gloves. You don't want to burn your hands or cut your hands or get them too dirty. So these you can pick up at even like the dollar store. A flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. Some carburetor cleaner. This is vital. You have to have this. And some starting fluid. Kind of vital. You need this as well. And I'll show you why in just a moment. And then the last couple things you'll need is goggles. You need eye protection. Okay, if you wear glasses, your glasses will probably be sufficient. But don't forget your eye protection when you're spraying carburetor fluid. I've gotten in my eyes several times. It's not a fun experience. And then the last thing right here is some little kind of container and a brush. And this is just to dump gasoline in when you're messing with the lawnmower and you need to take the gas out. And then the brushes, you can actually use the gas you just dumped to clean some of the pieces that you are working with. So that's what you need as far as tools to get started. And I'm going to show you real quick just a basic troubleshooting method when you first look at that lawnmower, whether it's your own or it's your neighbor's or it's some family members. How do you know if the lawnmower can even be fixed? So let's look at that. So here's a lawnmower I got for free off of Facebook Marketplace, and I'm telling you, you have to be really fast when somebody puts a curb alert or some type of free mower on Facebook. People are quick, so I just got lucky, or actually blessed, you know, the Lord's favor on me there, and I got this mower for free a couple days ago. And so to get your confidence that you can fix mowers, you got to fix a mower before you try to charge somebody else. And the first thing you want to do when you get something like this is see if it actually is even worth messing with. And the way that you can do that is you just bypass the fuel system altogether. So right here, there's the tank, and there's an air filter, and there's a carburetor underneath there. We're just going to bypass that completely. We're going to spray some fuel, some starting fluid, into the combustion chamber. That's where the spark plug is. And we're going to see if this thing even starts at all. If it doesn't start at all, then there might be something completely wrong with the engine. And I personally, I don't break down engines. I'm not going to go that far into it. So let's check it out. We're going to pop the spark plug wire off. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. We're going to loosen this. Pull that plug out. And the reason I like to do this too, instead of just spraying through the carburetor, is I can look at the spark plug and see if it's dirty or if it's bent or something like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and spray a little starter fluid in here. I need this straw, but I don't know where it is, so whatever. All right, sprayed some of that in there. And then put the plug right back in. Without cross-threading it, you don't want to do that. Tighten it. You don't want to over tighten it, just enough so it's snug. Reattach the wire. And the moment of truth, is this going to start up at all? So we'll see. Okay, so actually that's really good news. So it didn't completely start up just fine, but it turned over. And that means that there's life in this engine. That's a good thing. And so right now we know that this machine is very likely, probably 90% fixable. So we're going to get it fixed. How do I fix this lawnmower? Well, I know enough about lawnmowers at this point to know how I'm going to do it. But if I were starting out fresh, I would YouTube the name of this. This is a Briggs & Stratton lawnmower. And I would say, start with the carburetor, because 9 times out of 10, the carburetor, which is underneath the air filter here, it's clogged up, and that's your problem. So you want to Google on YouTube or whatever you use to do your search, but YouTube is what I've used. You want to search for the name of this mower. So this is a Briggs & Stratton, and then you just say how to fix a Briggs & Stratton, how to clean a Briggs & Stratton carburetor, and then you'll go through different videos until you find a carburetor that looks like the one that's on this tank here. I'm not going to do that in this video because there's guys out there that do a much better job than I do on it. And at the bottom of underneath this video, I'll have a list of different resources, and I'll give you my favorite YouTubers for lawnmower repairs. But really, you can find all the information you need on YouTube how to fix just about any lawnmower. I have not come across any carburetor that I can't fix because I just get on YouTube and I find out how to do it. So that's how you're going to fix your first lawnmower. It's probably the carburetor. If it's not the carburetor, get another one that is, because that's going to be your main bread and butter with a lawnmower repair business, is people whose lawnmowers have carburetors that are clogged up and not working properly. And so let's assume then that you found a lawnmower, either your own or somebody else's. You were able to find a video on how to clean out the carburetor, and you did it. One more tip, one more tool I didn't mention earlier, use your cell phone to take lots of pictures as you're taking stuff apart, because your first few times doing it, you're not going to remember how to put it back together. And so this one's not really complicated. And honestly, I mean, most lawnmower engines are not that complicated. Take a few pictures and you take it apart, and then you look at the pictures as you put it back together, and that's about it. So step one, get ready. You need to have the confidence that you can fix a lawnmower, and the basic way to fix one is to clean out the carburetor, put it back together, and that mower should start right up. All right, once you're confident enough that you can clean out the carburetor on a lawnmower and get it started, then you are ready for the next step. The next step is get set, get more tools, and get more set up to start a business. Okay, so a few more tools you're going to need if you do this for other people. You're not going to want to just clean out the carburetor for somebody. You want to be able to clean the carburetor out. You want to give it a tune-up, basically. You want to be able to clean out the carburetor. You want to change the oil. You want to clean it up. You want to sharpen the blade. You want to switch out the air filter. You want to do a lot of different things to it so that you are giving your client their money's worth. So a few more tools you're going to need to do that right here next to me. First off is either a small wet dry vac or a small air compressor that can blow air on the pieces as you're working in. So like once you clean off the carburetor, you need to spray all the debris off. Something like this is going to help you do that. Once you clean off a lawnmower, when you're done, you've wiped it down, you want to spray, you want to blow it all off. Something like this will help you do that. This is very, very, very useful. The second thing is just you want to get a few more hand tools, more screwdrivers of different sizes, Phillips and flathead. You want to get you don't need these a lot, but when you need them, you need them. An Allen wrench set, a Torx wrench set, the star bits there. You're going to need, basic crescent wrench, utility knife, different types of pliers. Here's some needle nose, channel locks. These here are longer needle nose, you'll need those. You want to get a pair of locking pliers like this, and these are really great when you disconnect fuel lines from a gas tank to the carburetor. Then you can clamp it with these so that the fuel doesn't all come out and get all over the place. Some wire cutters, some shears, scissors, and then a basic clamp. This is great when to hold down the handle on a lawnmower, so you can start it, put this on the handle, and then be able to inspect it while it's running. You don't have to be, try to be behind it holding the handle down. You want to have a wire brush. This is just for cleaning. Maybe you need to clean off a spark plug. Maybe you need to, clean off the deck of a lawnmower. This is really good. You want to expand your sockets and get some larger ones, because when we take the blade off, you're going to need sockets to take the blade off of the bottom of the mower, and a extension as well. And then I changed the spark plugs. My method of doing tune-ups, I don't clean the spark plugs usually. I just switch them out, just change them. And so you need to make sure the gap is properly set. This is just a little gauge. You can get the set, AutoZone for like $2, and I just set the gap usually to 30 thousandths, which is pretty easy to do using one of these. And so those are the tools there as well. You'll need to get maybe a few twist ties, and that's just to tie off cables. If you're messing with the carburetors, you want a set of carburetor adjustment tools. You can get these on Amazon, pretty cheap. All different types of heads. They're called carburetor adjusting tools. Can of WD-40, it's always good. Little miscellaneous things like use little tags, because if people drop off their mower with me, I want to remember who they are, so I tag their mower and do that. And then the last thing here, this is for sharpening the blades. This is an angle grinder. Get this at Walmart. I think it was like $20. And then you want to get a what kind of wheel is this? It's called a grinding wheel. So you want to get a grinding wheel so that you can sharpen blades, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a little bit. So you want to make sure that you have more tools, and you want to have a good workstation. All right, so you have the rest of your tools that you'll need to not just fix your own lawnmower, but fix other people's. And now you need to know where to get supplies. Okay, the place that you don't want to get supplies is places like Lowe's and Home Depot. They're just going to be super expensive. I get my supplies usually from AutoZone for spark plugs. Okay, spark plugs, I usually get these from AutoZone because they're only like a couple dollars each. Oil I usually get from Walmart, and I get the cheap oil because a lawnmower doesn't need high performance oil. Just basic 10W30 oil in a large 4 quart jug. There's a lot of different types of air filters on lawnmowers. Your air filter would look like might look like one of these. It might look like something different. But you don't want to buy this at Lowe's or Home Depot, because you're going to spend $6, $8, maybe even $10 just on an air filter, and that's going to cut into your profit. You can usually get these for an average of maybe a couple dollars when you buy them, 5 or 6 at a time on Amazon.com. And speaking of buying things and pricing and profit, you do need to know how you're going to price your services and what you're going to offer. And the way that I did this is I just thought, okay, what do I need as a homeowner, as a someone who wants to mow his lawn? what do I need to be able to do that? I need a lawnmower that works well and that is going to be working well the next time I go to mow my lawn. I don't want to get it fixed and then it just works that one time. I want it to be fixed and then work the whole season, maybe even a couple of years. So what do you need to do that? You need to clean out the carburetor for your customer, but you also need to change the oil. You need to sharpen the blade. You need to switch out the air filter or clean it really well if it looks new. And you need to switch out the spark plug. I always switch out spark plugs because sometimes they look great on the outside, but I've had people bring mowers back and the only thing wrong with it was the spark plug went bad. So I always switch out the spark plugs. And if you do that, your expenses might be $10 at most for parts. $10 at most for parts. And I priced that tune-up. I priced that at $60. So once you've done that, once you have your tools all set, you're ready to go. You know where you're going to get your supplies. I would not buy a bunch of supplies beforehand. I would just know where you're going to get them. And you know what your pricing is. You are ready for the next step, and the next step is to get your very first customer. Let's talk about that. So you've got a little bit of confidence now because you fixed your own lawnmower, or maybe your mom's lawnmower. Maybe you fixed a couple of them. You need to get that underneath your belt so you have confidence. You're set. You've got all your tools. You know where you're going to buy supplies. You've got an Amazon Prime account or whatever it is that you're going to use to do that. And so how do you get your very first customer? Well, the way that I did that was on Facebook. I just put a post on Facebook Marketplace. I can fix your lawnmower, and I said $60. And then I put a description on what I was offering. The services of the tune-up. Clean the carburetor out, change the oil, sharpen the blade, etc. $60, and I got a lot of business just from that. Now, Facebook Marketplace, they don't want you actually advertising services on Marketplace, so they kicked me off of it. But what I did is I just started a Facebook page, and then I paid like $5 or $10 to boost a post for my page, and it worked the same way. The post just said, I can fix your lawnmower, and I paid like $5 or $10, and I selected people like 5 or 10 miles from my address, and super easy if you're somewhat tech literate. Okay, super easy to get that first customer. Once you get them, you want to provide great service for them, and you want to assure them that if for some reason you can't fix their lawnmower, you're not going to charge them for it. That's what I did. I said, okay, I'm going to fix your lawnmower. If I do, this is how much it's going to cost. If I don't, I'm just going to give your lawnmower back. I'm not charging you anything. And that really made it a low risk, very low risk for them. So that's how I got my first customer, was through Facebook, and really most of my customers were either through Facebook, a few off of Google because people would they would rate me on Google because I just had a little basic Google profile. So a few people found me on Google, and then word of mouth. Word of mouth was a bunch. So last year, once again, I made $1,000 a month over 8 months, $8,000 in profit, and I think I had like 120 customers in that time, and they all came through word of mouth, Google, and mostly through Facebook. All right, so the last thing is just define your limits. So you've gotten ready, you got your confidence that you can fix them over, you're set, you've got your tools, you know where you're gonna get your supplies, you know how to get your very first customer, and so now you really need to just define the limits of the services that you offer. You do not want to be all things to all people, because you'll have some people who want you to fix their $20,000 riding lawnmower, and some people who want you to fix their boat engine, things like that. You really want to keep it. This is my rule of thumb. My rule of thumb is I don't work on anything that I'm not willing to pay for if I break it. So that's going to be like worth a couple $100. I'm not going to work on a mower that's $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. I'm not going to do it because if I break it, I'm not willing to buy it, and I'm not going to have the expense of insurance, liability insurance on stuff like that. Just not going to do it. So I limit what I do to walk behind lawnmowers, and then I do weed eaters, I do blowers, I do chainsaws. And so to learn how to do all of that, you just need to watch YouTube videos like I did. That's how I learned. Watch YouTube videos on each of those items. Hey, how do I clean out the carburetor on a chainsaw? How do I change out the fuel lines on a blower? How do I, you fill in the blank. You can find all of that on YouTube. So once you define your limits of what you're going to do, and this is the very last thing, and then you're going to be ready to do this. The very last thing is you want to, the classic, under promise and over deliver. And that means that, if someone drops something off and you think, oh man, I could have this done for them tomorrow. Don't tell them you're going to have it done tomorrow. Say, hey, I will have this done for you. I believe I'll have this done for you by Saturday. So they drop it off on a Monday. Say, hey, by this weekend, I'll have this done for you. I'll call you when it's ready to go. And then if you have it ready 2 days later, say, then you have outperformed what you promised, and you want to do that kind of stuff with your customers. So I hope these videos have been helpful for you. I hope that my experience of starting a business basically from scratch will be useful and inspirational for you to do the same thing. Good luck.